The Galactic Council chamber fell silent as Ambassador Threnax of the Vexillian Collective rose to address the assembly. 3 cycles had passed since humanity's departure, and the consequences were becoming impossible to ignore. Esteemed members, Threnax began, his 3 eyes scanning the room. We must discuss the human situation. A dismissive chittering came from the Zetherian delegation. Good riddance to those primitive warmongers, Councillor Sivesh hissed. They were never fit for galactic society. Threnax's mandibles twitched in what his species considered a frown. Perhaps you haven't noticed, Councillor, but 17 trade routes have collapsed since their departure. The Outer Rim stations are reporting critical supply shortages. Coincidence, Sivesh insisted. We managed perfectly well before humanity stumbled onto the galactic stage. Did we? The question came from Matriarch Yolana of the Kashari Union, her crystalline form refracting the chamber's light. I've been reviewing the records. In the 47 years since humanity joined the Council, they established 89% of our emergency response protocols, rebuilt the infrastructure of 14 war-torn worlds, and mediated 63 territorial disputes. They were simply seeking relevance, another counselor interjected, overcompensating for their late arrival. Yolana's form pulsed with agitation. Is that what we're calling it? Because I recall us voting to exclude them from the inner council despite their contributions. I recall us mocking their inefficient emotional decision-making. I recall us dismissing their warnings about the Kepler expanse instability. The chamber erupted in uncomfortable murmurs. Threnax pulled up a holographic display. Let me present some data. The humans didn't storm out. They didn't threaten us or declare war, they simply left. Within 6 standard months, they withdrew every human from council space, every diplomat, every engineer, every medical professional, every teacher. They dismantled their aid stations, recalled their rescue ships, and closed their embassies. And, Sivesh challenged, and the cracks are showing. Threnax expanded the display. The Dorvian plague on Sector 7, it's spreading. The humans had developed a treatment protocol, but they took that knowledge with them. The merchant lanes through the Helian Nebula? Closed. Humans were the only ones crazy enough to navigate those plasma storms, but they did it because it cut shipping times by 40%. The Frontier Academy? Enrollment down 73%. Turns out, humans were considered the best teachers in applied sciences. Councillor Vesh of the Arconian Empire spoke up, his voice heavy. My homeworld experienced seismic activity last cycle. The predictive algorithms failed. We lost 12,000 citizens. He paused. The algorithms were created by humanity. We never bothered to understand how they worked. When they left, they took the expertise with them. They could have left instructions. Someone protested weakly. They did, Yolana said quietly. Detailed documentation for everything. But it requires a fundamental understanding of human mathematical frameworks and problem-solving approaches. Frameworks we dismissed as inelegant and overly complicated. We never trained our own people because we assumed the humans would always be there to handle it. Threnax changed the display again. The sanctuary stations, the humans built 43 of them throughout council space. Free hospitals, schools, agricultural development centers, all powered by fusion reactors of human design, all staffed by human volunteers, all gone now. We can rebuild, Sivesh insisted, though his conviction wavered. With what? Threnax countered. Human industrial output accounted for 31% of council manufacturing. They weren't the most advanced, but they were the most prolific. And they asked for almost nothing in return. Standard trade rates, no preferential treatment, no territorial demands. They just helped. Matriarch Yolana brought up her own data. I've been communicating with the human liaison, the only one they left behind, stationed just outside council space. I asked why they left so quietly. Do you know what she told me? The chamber waited. She said, we realized we weren't partners. We were convenient. You called on us when you needed something done, but never invited us to the table when decisions were made. You praised our sacrifices, but mocked our sentiment. You took and took, And we gave and gave, thinking eventually we'd be equals. But we were wrong. So we stopped giving. The silence that followed was deafening. The humans haven't attacked us, Yolana continued. They haven't sabotaged anything. They simply withdrew their labor, their innovation, their goodwill. And now, we're discovering just how much we depended on things we never acknowledged. Threnax closed his displays. 3 more worlds have petitioned for human aid in the past cycle alone. The humans politely declined. They're focusing on their own systems now, their own people. They're trading with independent worlds outside council jurisdiction. And those worlds are thriving. What do you propose? Counselor Vesh asked. I propose we admit what we all know. We made a mistake. We took humanity's contributions for granted because they gave so freely. We dismissed their value because they didn't demand recognition. We treated them as junior partners in a civilization they helped hold together. Sivesh deflated in his seat. You're suggesting we apologize? Ask them to return? I'm suggesting we face the truth, Threnax said. The humans didn't conquer us. They didn't need to. They just stopped holding us up and were beginning to collapse under our own weight. Matriarch Yolana added softly. They left quietly, without vengeance or demands. But their absence speaks louder than any declaration of war ever could. They're forcing us to confront an uncomfortable reality. We need them far more than they need us. The Galactic Council sat in stunned silence, finally understanding the price of taking someone's kindness for granted. Outside council space, humanity continued building, thriving, and looking forward, no longer waiting for validation from those who could never see their worth.